guys, Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. I'm not alone. I'm joined by YST. Welcome back to the channel, YST. How you doing, bro?
Yo, Ash, it's so nice to finally be here after such a long layoff. Thanks for inviting me on today.
I'm happy to have you, dude. We're talking about Nukers, which we both love. We're going to keep it to epic Nukers, and we're going to talk about the 10, like, kind of no-brainer. We would max out these Nukers no matter what, no matter, you know, if we're end game or early game. These are just our favorite damage dealers in the game in the epic category. So you are the guest, my friend. Do you want to get started with your first choice?
Ooh, who should we go into? Let's go into Mr. Royal Guard.
Going with the old school legacy champ, Royal Guard himself.
Oh, yeah. So for anyone that doesn't know, Royal Guard is an absolute beast. Like, he's probably like one of the most wanted champions, especially when you're coming into this game. And pretty much it comes down to that takedown ability, where he attacks all enemies and damage increases according to enemy max HP. Now, taking this into the dungeons, the Hydra boss, the faction wars, it doesn't matter. This is going to absolutely destroy. What do you think about Royal Guard?
Dude, I love Royal Guard, man. I mean, he was one of the later epics that I pulled on my account. So I wanted this guy so badly for so long, primarily for Spider 20, like back in the day, right? I was like, I need him for Spider 20.
I need a glass of water. I need a credit card. I need a $100 bill.
But now, you know, with level 25 dungeons, he received kind of a passive nerf, but then a massive passive buff, I guess, when they released Hydra Clan Boss, to your point. So yeah, man, I love Royal Guard. I think that, you know, his A3 is a little underrated too, the hamstring ability with the decreased speed and the turn meter control. So yeah, man, I'm definitely one of the best epic nukers out there in the game. Do you run him anywhere right now other than like Faction Wars and Hydra?
I'd say the Dark Fae is probably one of the main places. Okay. Being able to get that turn meter down, decrease speed, and the enemy max HP to get that terrible boss down as quick as possible.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
I tried to build the Fire Knight team. You know, I'm talking about like the world record Fire Knight team with Royal Guard.
Oh, yeah.
25. I tried to build it, but I didn't have, believe it or not, I didn't have the gear, man. Or I was using it like on other champions. That is a very intensive build, so I switched to a Poison Combust team. But either way, I love Royal Guard. I haven't built in Reflex gear, actually. So I turn off his A3, go Reflex on Takedown for Hydra Clan Boss, which is mainly where I use him. But that's a really good first choice. By the way, I should mention that we're going to be doing a collab on your channel as well. What are we going to be talking about, YST, on your channel?
We're going to be talking about the top 20 champions that you must max in this game. And our kind of top
just
picks
straight up. Okay, that's going to be a lot of fun. Let's check out YST's YouTube channel. The link will be in the description below, guys. Dilese is going to be my first choice, man. Really like this champion because she can dish it out in terms of damage, and she brings a lot more utility to the table as well. She has a debuff spread on enemies under Hex on the A1, which is nice. Hex got that small or medium-sized buff. What do you think of the Hex buff? What do you think of it?
I think the buff is actually really nice. I didn't see it in full action until the faction games because Smiley came through with Rule the Huntmaster, and he didn't need any drop defense to get through the waves as long as he had that Hex up because of the kind of expansion of the damage there. So I'm a big fan of the buff personally.
Me too. It's like it gives a debuff in the game that had absolutely no use really, except for like synergies. It gives it a use now, and that damage, to your point, it can add up, especially over time. So I like the debuff spread on the A1, contingent on Hex. On the A2, she has to increase the duration of all debuffs on all enemies on a 3-turn cooldown by 1 turn. This is a great ability, and it has solid multipliers as well. And then the A3, we got decreased defense on a 3-turn cooldown, guaranteed place, not predicated on a critical hit or anything like that. And again, this is a force affinity, decreased defense, nuker. So what else do you want? When attacking enemies under decreased defense, has a 50% chance of placing a Hex on them for 2 turns as well, in a kind of a nice but not like game-changing passive added to the kit. Have you maxed out Dilese? What do you think of her?
I haven't, but I did a video with Deadwood, and he was a really big fan of Dilese and that one. So
does marriage exist in the afterlife?
Not really, no.
Well, can you please kill me?
What?
She definitely can smack. I've seen a lot of gameplay of her, so
yeah,
looking to max her though.
For me, it was between her. This is like my last position, I want to say, out of my 5. And it was between her, and I'll just give an honorable mention because why not? Dude, I don't know if you've invested in this dude, because not a lot of people have, but I am a really big fan of Siege Hulk, the big dude, the big fella. Ooh. Have you played him before?
I haven't, but I know you're a big fan, and people were telling me on a live stream, Ash loves the Siege Hulk.
I do love the Siege Hulk, man. He smacks. He's very squishy. I mean, 760 defense, but he can dish it out, and he has an increased crit rate, increased crit damage, self buff too. So man, he really can deal some damage on this. A3 is a powerful single target, and then his A2. Look at me. I said I'm going to give him an honorable mention, and here I am doing the whole guide on him. Who's your second champion, YSD?
Second up is going to be in the dwarfs.
Okay.
And no, it's not Cornelia, guys, because she doesn't nuke. But
I
it's
know,
going to
right?
be-
That's your favorite. People know you as the Cornelia god.
But it's actually going to be Gala Longbraids. I think she's
Ooh.
really underrated in this game.
I agree.
Obviously, she's been power crit by many champions that's come into raid recently. But that A3 with the sheer swagger where she attacks one enemy 3 times, each hit will ignore 25% of the target's defense and grants an extra turn if this champion has full HP after using this skill. Now, hitting 3 times and ignoring that chunk of defense, that's insane if you start pairing Helm Smasher and Savage Gear. It's got a lot of potential, and then also with the Fearless Aggression, can ignore 50% of the target's defense when attacking under a shield buff. Now, one way that people really like to build this champion is in a shield set, because you automatically don't have to make other champions put that on to get that 50% ignoring. I think she's remarkable for an epic champion, personally.
Yeah. Dude, have you seen her in the arena? Have you used her in the arena?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
dude, like she can
outstanding.
wreck. Yeah. Like coming in, I mean, I'll tell this story. It's a little embarrassing, but one time in the arena, I was just, kind of, how sometimes you just go in cruise control and you don't overthink it and you just kind of go into the teams. So I went against a Gala team. I forgot who she was with, but it was only a 2-champion team. And just like really quick, I was like, oh, stupid, like whatever, like, just farming, losing trophies. So I go in there, dude, and she wrecked my team. she to your point, she opened with sheer swagger. She took out like whoever Arbiter or whatever. She came right back in with Fearless Aggression, took out my Nuker, and I'm like, well, crap, my team's gone, So yeah, I totally agree. She's like a poor woman's Krutraxa because she has that hard-hitting ability that can kill anybody with the A3, and then she gets an extra turn as long as she has full HP. So I love that. Next up for me, man, I just did a guide on her a week or 2 ago. Have you ever tried Alika?
I have never tried Alika, and hopefully you can change my mind on this.
Yes. Okay, well, I'll be honest with you. It was actually Scratch AK-47 who changed my mind on her, right? So he did a video, about a month ago on her, and he's like, wow, she is insane in terms of damage. And I'm like, okay, is he YouTube clickbaiting me? Or is this true? And I watched the video and it was true. So I built her, and yeah, I mean, the downside is look at these books, dude. It's like, that's nasty. But we do have insane multipliers, right? This high value target does a ton of damage, ignore 50% of the target's defense if their max HP is higher than this champion's max HP. She only has like a 15k base HP, so she scales pretty well. And this is on a 2-turn cooldown, this ability. On the A3, this Disorient, it's an AoE attack, 100% chance of increasing the cooldowns of all enemy skills by 1 turn. So like that's a nice little added bonus, and it just is insane damage. I think it's the same damage multipliers as like Lord Shazar and Foley on this A3, so it's not bad at all. We're talking easily over 100k damage, and then she has the kind of the sister passive with Sakara, who's actually not too bad either. But yeah, Alika really surprised me. She can dish out some serious damage with the A3 and the A2.
That cooldown synergy with the attacking of all enemies is really nice as well.
Yes.
If that one's smacking that hard with that increasing of cooldowns, that's really nice. Like even traditionally, if you're building a nuker, you don't want to get accuracy, you just want to go raw damage. But most nukers in this game don't have a lot of resistance, the ones that you're facing. So if you could potentially lock off one of their main abilities, if they come through and cut in, that's a really nice little add-on there to that ability.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head there, YST, because you just buy yourself a little bit more time to get back to the A2 and then pop off whoever you want to, kill before they can get that ability back on cooldown. So, Alika, give her a try, man. Give her a try. Who you got next?
Next up is going to be in my favorite faction, which is the Shadowkin.
Okay.
And it's going to be Gimbo.
Yes.
Now, this champion is just remarkable, and it kind of made like a new legendary version of him with Hefrak.
Why can't you just be normal?
Very similar A3 abilities on them champions there, because the increased crit rate, the crit damage, and the extra turn leads into Heartless Blitz and Kaboom, the Leorious Killer, because he kind of removes all that stuff, so he's solid. And he was my main nuker for, I'd say, 6 months until I started pulling candies and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But he's outstanding for sure.
He really is. He does smack, and to your point, I love the self-buffing ability to open things up and then just come in here and just lay it down. He does have that unique ability to ignore the unkillables as well, so I totally agree with you. I love Genbo. You say Genbo? I said Genbo.
I used to say Gimbo, but...
Then they corrected you?
I used to say Genzin and Gimbo, and I used to get saluted in the comment section.
I'm a little unsteady.
Now it's Gimbo and Genzin. It's before anyone
Genbo and
drills me.
Genzin. Okay, I said Genzin, but I said Genbo, which doesn't make any sense now that you say it like that. So maybe I'm going to say I was wrong, but my viewers will know that's no surprise here for me on the channel is butchering champion names. Next up, I have none other than, this will not surprise many people, it's Dark Elhane. She's a daily log and reward champion, YST, but I love her. I love her.
Why am I not surprised, you piece of shit?
She's, you know, you can even use her in endgame as an anti-Torment option on your arena team. She's going to be stripping away freezes placed on her, and then she's going to be also instantly activating this incredibly hard-hitting Death's Majesty ability on the A2. I build her with attack percentage on her boots, just maximize her attack. I don't care so much about speed, and then just put her in against Torment, and she just nukes down the enemy team. Fun to run an Ice Golem as well. But even, you know, without any of that, without running her against Torment teams or just an Ice Golem, she can just be a main nuker for basically anybody who pulls her. She deals that much damage. She's a little squishy, but she does have 17k HP. Either way, I love Dark Elhane. Thoughts?
I am so guilty of never building this champion.
Dude, you never built all my faves.
Do you know what? It's not even like because I think she's rubbish or anything like that. I've seen her capabilities and know how amazing she is. It's just like, do you know when you kind of, you're always doing fusions, you're maxing up new champions.
Oh, yeah.
And some just kind of miss the mark sometimes.
You just miss. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's definitely on my list, and I promise you, straight after this video, she's going to be my next 6-star. So, there we go.
You better do a video on her and let us know how you feel about her.
I feel like...
I want to punch you right in your dumb face.
Do you have any other, like, super obvious champions that everybody seemingly has or has max that you never touched?
I
had one up until very recently, and mine was Katoon.
Oh, I've never maxed the Katoon either.
Wow, there you go. So there you go.
I think, you know, back then, I actually wasn't a content creator when I was like getting all of these champions from the daily login rewards. So when I've become a creator now, I kind of like, you know what I mean? Like I never really was on that grind with all of you guys at that time. So Dark Elhane, Katoons, I already had them before I started. So that's kind of my reason for that.
Makes sense. Okay, who you have next, man?
Next up's gonna be someone that I actually pulled really recently.
Okay.
So nobody can ever troll me again, and it's Seer.
Oh, congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations, because you just pulled a legendary and an epic skin.
I have been drilled for this, no kidding, for at least a year straight. You don't have a Seer. Where's your Seer? Nice pull, YST. Get out of here.
Dude, you must have been happier than pulling a Lego when you pulled Seer.
Oh yeah, it was outstanding. But
that's great. Yeah, I mean, she's the best, right? Best PvE nuker in the game.
I always said when I pull a Seer, I'm gonna feed it to a Death Knight, but I never did it. I was just like, no, I need
no, you can't.
I need to keep it now.
Have you? What did she live up to the hype?
She does live up to the hype, yeah.
Okay. So yes, I mean, there's not much to say about this ability other than it's broken and incredibly good. Yeah, I'm gonna ask you a tricky question. Do you think that she needs to be nerfed? Put you on the hot seat today, man.
I would say no, and the reason for it is because she requires setup. Many champions in this game can just be busted on their own, but for her to be amazing, you have to give it that perfect setup. You need to have someone like a Kaima or a Renegade to nuke wave 2 and stuff like that. And I think, yes, she's OP when she actually does it, but if she's not built correct and not in the right setup, she's not gonna perform how you may see in many videos and stuff. So
yeah,
I think she's alright.
It's true. It's a good point. She does save so much time, too, for anybody who has her, right? And time is a major issue in this game, so I'd hate to have longer runs across the board just because they nerf her. However, you know, if I was to play devil's advocate, I would say that she boxes out so many other strategies and champions just by being so dominant in every speed run. But I say that to say that I don't really feel that way. I mean, I feel that way, but I also don't want them to nerf her.
What do you want from us?
I'm on the fence, as always. All right.
It's a tricky one. It's definitely a tricky one with her. Like, she is OP for an epic.
Yeah.
But if you nerf her, that would be like the biggest thing that would ever happen in Raid when it comes to controversy.
People would leave. People would quit in droves after a Seer nerf. They can't do it, nor should they. But it is weird when you look at champions like, I don't know, Thea the Tomb Angel, the hardest hitting champion in the game. And it's just like, yeah, who needs her? Because I have a better choice in Seer, you know? Anyway, here we go. My last champion is going to be Husk. This dude is, I mean, he had to be included on the list, right? I wanted to get a little bit more niche. People now know how good Husk is. I think that he was slept on for a long time, especially before Hydra. But he has the AoE with the stun based on enemy max HP. The stun here is great for people who are just in progression or using him to, you know, on Doom Tower waves or whatever. But obviously the Despair ability in itself is just tremendous in terms of being a Force Affinity max HP option for people for Hydra Clan Boss. I have a hunch that almost everybody who has him probably uses him in Hydra Clan Boss. I don't even use the A3 ability. I don't know if you do, but what do you think of Husk?
Husk is actually my favorite max HP champion in the game.
Oh, there you go.
So obviously there is other champions that can hit harder, but in terms of his utility for Hydra and just like being able to turn into a CC champion, maybe in secret rooms or the faction wars, like having that stun on that A2 is just amazing as well. And the provoke as well for the Hydra head, trying to keep that under control. He's just very versatile, and I like the way that he was kind of in the vault for years, and then Hydra came out, and then he was just like one of the most wanted champions in this game. So yeah, he's really solid. I like him.
Yep, you love to see it. You love to see, you know, dusting out the vault champions every so often. Who's your last champion, man?
The last champion is in the Demon Spawn.
Okay.
And goes by the name of Magno, who was a fusion.
Thank God you mentioned him, because how could we forget, really, the best arena, well, arguably the best arena nuker out of any epic.
What was that fusion? It had Cornelia in it, Magno.
It was 4 Magnars, right?
No.
Or no. Oh, okay. No, you're right.
It was Cornelia in there and Magno, and I remember keeping the 2 epics, which I'm so happy with nowadays. But that legendary champion, I can never remember it.
You keep telling me about why you love her so much, and and I'm gonna pull up this fusion.
I shouldn't have come here.
What makes this champion so amazing is that percussive pound, which attacks all enemies and places an extra hit on enemies without HP burn debuffs, and a 50% chance of placing a stun debuff on 1 turn under HP burn. Now, this ability here can just absolutely wreck. Like, it's insane. And then he's got that drop defense, and he's got the debuff spread as well, which is really nice for the Hydra boss. I did a really nice video on that once a while ago. He's just so solid. Like, for an epic nuker in this game, that was accessible at the time for most players. You can't really go wrong with him.
No, 100% agree with you. He is my favorite epic nuker. I guess, like, with all apologies to Gimbo. What is it? Gimbo. With all apologies to him, he's my favorite epic arena nuker. He was part of the, this is interesting, he was part of the Mother Cybele fusion. And
that's where it was.
I love Mother Cybele. I didn't go for my Mother Cybele because I just fused Magnar and that was it. You know, I think Dilese was part of that too, or maybe I'm making that up. I think I'm making that up. Either way, dude, I love Mother Cybele. She's like one of my favorite champions in the entire game, man. Do you like her? Do you have her?
I see. This is a really hard one because if I didn't keep the Cornelia from that fusion, then there would be no Bommel videos out. so it's like, yes, I love Mother Cybele, but I feel like what we managed to do with Cornelia, because I never actually pulled a Cornelia before until recently. It's only been that fusion one that I had. But Mother Cybele is definitely on the top of my list as one of my most wanted for Hydra. I think she's solid for sure.
Okay, I'm trying to see who the other champions were in the Mother Cybele.
That was probably one of the best epics.
It was Tolf the Maimed, Magnar, Jurojin, and Cornelia. So I guess Tolf and Jurojin, whatever, but Cornelia and Magnar, 2 of the better epics we've had in fusions. I like that fusion, man, because really nice. All of them were super solid. Well, hey, dude, let's go ahead and record the video on your channel. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been great talking nukers. And to my viewers, guys, let us know who we forgot. Who's your favorite epic nuker that we snubbed? Let us know in the comments below. And check us out on YST's YouTube channel. YST, thanks again, man.
Appreciate it. Anytime. I've been looking forward to like a new collab with you. I was like, I haven't collabed with Ash in a very long time. And when you popped up, I was like, oh, this is a great time to do it. Let's go.
Yeah, dude. Had a blast, man. Let's do it again soon. All right.
100%.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. And as always, take care.